Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Outside Opinions podcast. I'm Asher Neotia,
And I'm Levi Naw.
and we're going to jump right in with a recap of last week's games. All right, so first up, we did not do last week's Thursday night football, so we're going to do Panthers 49ers first up.
Monday night, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant, Monday night.
So Niners win 20-9. This was a pretty terrible game for Brock Purdy, throwing 3 interceptions. Thankfully, Christian McCaffrey was able to continue his hot streak. I think is it 3 or 5 straight games with a touchdown, something like that. Had about 100 yards. It was a pretty great day for him. Not a great day for Bryce Young either. He also had 2 interceptions. And we've seen this a lot from the Panthers. Every time their defense gives them an opportunity, it completely flops if the run game can't pick up the slack. Like their entire offense churns off of their run game. And on the games where their running backs aren't performing, their offense just can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Rico Dowdle this game, 6 carries, 38 yards, 4 receptions, 36 yards. So he really was the difference maker on offense for the Panthers. But when Bryce Young decides to have, 2 interceptions and only 170 yards, I mean, he played better than Brock Purdy did, but is that really saying much considering that they basically had the same stat line except Purdy had 3 INTs.
Mm-hmm.
Christian McCaffrey, played pretty decently. George Kittle, leading receiver for the Niners. I mean, he also played well. So it was just a good game for the 49ers in general. But we will talk more about their playoff chances here in the next game when we talk about them. Thanksgiving slate, 3 games. Lions-Packers up first.
All 3 games were phenomenal, by the way.
Except for the last one. The last one was a bit boring, in my opinion. But, we'll talk about that in a second. Lions. Dan Campbell really needs to chill out.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go for 4th down as much as you want. Don't get me wrong. But, you keep going for it for the past 3 weeks, and what have we seen? It was 0-4, I think, 0-6, and 0-2. Something along those lines.
Yep.
It's just not working. And, I can tell that, he can tell that, the viewer can tell that, but Dan Campbell can't tell that. And I think, you can have the biggest guts in the world, but if it's not working, you got to fix it.
Mm-hmm. And it really hurt their 4th down plays without Amon-Ra St. Brown. He went out pretty early in the game, and Jameson Williams was able to generate some pretty big plays, but most 4th downs he either wasn't open or he had one really bad drop on 4th down.
Yeah. And along with that, Jared Goff, he got not completely outclassed with Jordan Love, but Jordan Love played way better than Jared Goff did this game. And really, he also has to take sacks, which is a huge part of why he plays bad.
Yeah.
It's just his O-line doesn't protect him, and then bad things happen.
Mm.
Also, when Jahmyr Gibbs just doesn't rush for 200 yards, you have to find a way to win a game. And every single game they've won, it seemed like he's had a big game. So they need a game plan for what to do when he doesn't have a big game.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one of those instances because, of course, Micah Parsons won't let you run for 250 yards. The Packers. This was probably the first time I'm saying this all year long. Their offense looked alive.
Mm-hmm.
They were actually moving the ball. I didn't think that Jordan Love missed too many passes. The defense did its job. It was an all-around good performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Christian Watson went crazy in this game. And Romeo Doubs, too. It's been a lot of continual talks about when are the Packers receivers going to take the next step. They're all like receiver 2, receiver 3s. This game, finally, they all looked like receiver 1s. And if they can keep playing like that, this offense might suddenly become really scary.
Yeah, and along with that, Dontavian Wicks, he's what you mentioned. 6 receptions, 95 yards, 2 TDs.
Yeah.
Really the X factor for the Packers this game.
Yeah.
Chiefs, Cowboys.
So the Cowboys' run defense largely won this game. I don't think I remember a single play where the Chiefs' run game did anything this entire game. And that's really surprising coming from the Cowboys. The Quinnen Williams trade has completely transformed their entire defensive line, and they might honestly at this point have one of the scarier interior defensive lines in the entire league. So that won the game. Honestly, the Chiefs' defense played pretty terribly. They had a great start with an interception, and from there, they kind of just let up on George
Yeah.
Pickens. He got a ton of huge plays. CeeDee Lamb got a ton of huge plays. There was no answer at all from the Chiefs defense.
Right, for the Chiefs, right? Offense did its job, defense didn't.
Yeah.
There's no way you can win also with 10 penalties for how much was it? 114 yards. Like, that's basically an entire football field worth of just penalties.
Yeah.
And along with that, I mean, Mahomes, he looked good. 23 for 34, 260 yards, 4 TDs.
Yeah.
So he played really well. But is this team going to make the playoffs? That is the core question that we have.
They have to win every game for the rest of the year. And, I mean, the rest of their schedule is pretty easy except for one glaring problem. They have to play the Broncos, and I don't think they're going to win that game.
Against the Broncos, I'm actually going to pick the Chiefs. I'll tell you why when we get to the Broncos game. The Cowboys, way to stuff the run. I mean, he already said it. I'm just going to reiterate it. I mean, this team, when they traded Micah Parsons, I sat here in this very seat saying they're going to do nothing this year. Jerry Jones, as much as I hate to say it, credit to him, he's proved me wrong. But is this team playoff bound? That's the second question for the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's a huge question, and I think the answer will come next week against the Lions. If they lose that game, I think they're pretty much out of the playoffs. They're competing with the Lions for a wild card spot at this point. Whoever wins that game, I think it's of the two who's going to make the playoffs.
I agree. Also, the main question, I still want to see this defensive secondary tested. Because this week against the Chiefs, Rashee Rice had his way. Amon-Ra St. Brown will torch you twice the amount that Rashee Rice did.
Yeah, I don't remember if he's going to be out for this week or not. We'll see.
Yeah, but if Amon-Ra plays, I want to see the secondary tested. Mm-hmm. Because if they cannot hold up, then they are going to be in a huge, huge issue.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens-Bengals. For the Ravens.
This game was pretty boring. It started that way, but honestly, by the end, it was pretty entertaining, in my opinion.
I mean, look, we both picked the Bengals to lose, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar still can't throw the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, just flat out. He had an interception. He only threw for about 100 and some yards.
2 fumbles.
Yeah, 2 fumbles. They had way too many turnovers. They had 5 turnovers. I mean, there's only so much the defense can do if the offense is just going to go on the field, give the ball back to the Bengals, and just come back off.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, the Ravens defense absolutely stuffed the Bengals early in the game, but if Lamar's just handing the ball away on every drive, there's not a whole. They can't keep that up for very long, especially with Joe Burrow kind of getting back into the rhythm late game.
Yeah, agreed. And then for the Bengals, I mean, look, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, they looked like they were at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very easy to win if the defense does its job, and they proved it here.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we want to see from the Bengals, right? I mean, last year we had these discussions where Joe Burrow is playing out of his mind, and Jamar Chase is also playing out of his mind, but the defense, apart from Trey Hendrickson, is doing absolutely nothing. Finally, for the first time I can say, the Bengals defense won them a game.
Honestly, I don't know if their defense did that much. It was just Lamar playing horrible. I don't know if I'm
still giving
Lamar
the credit to the
that
defense
bad.
because at least they got the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to play horribly and get the ball back. It's another thing to play horribly and lose the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, somebody was able to actually get the ball from the Bengals side.
Yeah.
Eagles, Bears.
Bears
Friday
win
night.
24-15.
Yeah,
Who
all
could
right.
have seen that coming?
The Eagles. The storyline of this game was how many rushing yards did the Bears get? The answer, 281. They had a passing stat line and a rushing yards. That's literally true. I mean, the Eagles gave up 281 rushing yards, had 2 turnovers, forced A.J. Brown the ball, and only gave Saquon and Hurts rushing opportunities. That's 4 things that are wrong.
Yep.
It feels like the weirdest season possible in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
1 week they're losing to the Broncos, then they're absolutely destroying somebody else, and they're coming back and they're losing to the Bears. Who the Bears are good, don't get me wrong, but still, I mean, to a certain extent you have to say, when do they fold? Because, I mean, you can chalk all their losses up to good team, good team, good team. But in every single one of these losses, they've been outclassed.
Yeah, and not just outclassed, they're playing horrible. This game was another storyline of Saquon Barkley cannot generate any plays at all whatsoever. Jalen Hurts is struggling to get the ball downfield, largely, like you said, because he's like force-feeding A.J. Brown the ball because he's complaining on, social media. And, the Bears, like you said, not only is it DeAndre Swift lighting it up, they got Kyle Monunga out there. I think he even had more rushing yards than DeAndre Swift did. That just goes to show how bad the Eagles' defense played in this game.
Yeah.
So.
And look, for the Bears, credit due where credit should be given. They completely came prepared, right? Caleb Williams, sure, he didn't look great, but you don't have to when your rushing is going to give you 280 yards. The defense did his job. They looked good. They're now the number 1 seed in the NFC. But here's my stipulation. I don't think they're a deep playoff team. In fact, I don't even think they're a Super Bowl bound team. NFC Championship bound team.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be gone by the second round of the playoffs.
At the latest, I think, yeah. They're just too inexperienced. I think they have a great future. I think with how deep the receiver core is, with how young of a coach Ben Johnson is, with how young of a quarterback Caleb Williams is, they've got a great future. I don't see them doing it this year, though.
Yeah, and along with that, I also think their head coach is slightly inexperienced when it comes to this. Because, look, as good of a coach as Ben Johnson is, what did they do with the Lions? Or what did he do with the Lions?
Yeah.
Gave Jared Goff 4 turnovers, which weren't all...
I think that's a lot Dan Campbell's fault. But.
Yeah, a lot of that's Dan Campbell's fault, but some of it's also on the play calling, which is, of course, Ben Johnson's job. So, they're the number 1 seed. They'll get the bye probably, but I don't think they're going to win in the game that they play post-bye.
Yeah.
Browns 49ers. The big question from this game that I have is, will Shedeur Sanders keep starting?
I think he's declared the starter for next week, and I think that's the way it should stay. He didn't look great in this game, but he looked good enough against a defense that played pretty well. This wasn't even the 49ers outscoring them. He kept it competitive, Shedeur Sanders did. It was the 49ers, mostly their special teams, that got them this big of a lead. I think this game would have been a lot closer if there hadn't been, dropped punts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Look, you lost 2 fumbles, and your punt returner was basically the cause for both.
Yeah.
You got to cut him, and you got to replace him too, because this is just unacceptable. Mm-hmm. You're in the NFL. You have one job, and if you cannot do that one job correctly, you can just be gone. Mm-hmm. You don't get paid the big bucks to just be like, here's the ball, here's the ground. That's just not how it works. Sanders, he looked okay.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think he looked great. I don't think he looked bad. He was just okay.
Better than Dylan Gabriel, at least.
But, yeah, better than anything Dylan Gabriel could ever muster up.
Yeah.
Because, look, what Shedeur Sanders, what the Browns offense is getting is a new dimension of passing the ball down the field.
Yeah.
Flacco had no passes above 30 yards. Dylan Gabriel had none. Shedeur already has 4 in basically 2 games and a quarter. Mm. So if I am the Browns, okay, I don't even need to declare a starter. I'm just going to keep the expectation that Shedeur Sanders is starting for this week. The Niners. You don't really got to recap this game for them because you're expected to beat the Browns, right? Mm-hmm. Are they a playoff-bound team?
No. I think they're not, especially if Brock Purdy keeps playing the way he has been lately, which is, he's too risky with the ball. You have to be really careful with the ball, especially against opponents like the Panthers, where, that game should be very winnable, or the Bears, these games should be easy wins, and he's just being too careless with the ball. And as long as he's playing with that mentality, he might run up a decent stat line other than interceptions, but he's not going to lead in the playoffs.
I think that they are going to be the last team in for the playoffs, the very last one. And I think that they will, in the playoffs, get eliminated first round, of course. But just to clear all the Niners fans who are delusional, you're not winning the NFC West, okay? Sure, we slipped up this week. Don't worry, I'll get to that later, or we'll get to that later. But first off, you're losing to the Seahawks in I think it's either 16 or week 17. Mm-hmm. You don't play us again, thankfully, for your mental health. And along with that, even if the rest of your strength of schedule is easy, you're definitely not beating out the Seahawks, okay? And if by some chance the Seahawks take the number 1 place, which is very possible, I wouldn't put that past my own team, we're going to absolutely destroy you if we face you in the playoffs. So don't keep the hopes of NFC West. Just keep the hopes of 7th seed in the playoffs. That's my take for this week. The Titans-Jags. Titans. Too many fumbles. They had 3. Along with that, 3rd and 4th down efficiency was very bad. 2 for 12 on 3rd downs, 1 for 4 on 4th downs. This is not Dan Campbell's Titans show. This is just, it's just not good at all. You have no offense outside of Cam Ward and Tony Pollard. And Tony Pollard isn't even that good of a running back. So you basically have no offense outside of Cam Ward.
Yeah.
So why are you going for it on 4th down?
I agree going with the 4th downs. I think at this point, they don't really care whether they win or lose. They're going to probably end up with the number 1 overall pick in the draft. So they probably want that. I think going for 4th downs, 1, if you miss them, better chance of getting the number 1 overall pick again. 2, you just give Cam Ward more of that experience, get him more used to the tempo of the NFL, get him more used to, the amount of pressure he's going to be under. He's going to be more comfortable once the roster has been built up around him. I think it's a good idea.
Yes, you could go for it. My thing is, though, is that your defense isn't good. So why would you trust your defense? To an extent, yes, trust them. But my point here is, even if you punt or if you kick the field goal or wherever these 4th downs came at, you just, you do whatever you're supposed to, per se, do in that situation, I think you're better off. And it's just because, A, your defense isn't that good. B, you have no offense outside of Cam Ward. And C, the Jaguars' defense isn't a joke.
Yeah.
They're a pretty decent defense. And on the point of the Titans' defense, they just couldn't do anything against the passing game. They made Trevor Lawrence look like he was Tom Brady out there.
And they made Jacoby Myers look like he's Edelman out there.
It was just, the Jaguars' offense just completely outclassed the Titans' defense by a mile. But for the Jaguars, here's the bad thing. They had way too many penalties. 13 penalties for 98 yards is only good when you're playing the Titans or Browns. Or Raiders, of course, sorry. But any good team will take those penalties and absolutely destroy you with it. Mm-hmm. Also, they also sucked on 3rd down like the Titans did. 3 for 13. You still won because it's the Titans, but still. You got to make that 3rd down efficiency better if you have a shot at making the playoffs, which they have a very, very real shot now that the Colts lost. Again, and on the topic of the Colts-Texans.
Yeah, this was a wild game. I don't understand. This collapse needs to be studied. We all kind of saw it coming, but still, the Jonathan Taylor fall off. He's still, with how many carries he's getting, he's still putting up decent numbers. But if he's not able to, generate consistent 1st downs for their offense, it's become clear Daniel Jones cannot, pick up the slack, cannot keep their offense going. And, props to the Texans. This was a pretty impressive showing for their defense. Just another huge impact day for Will Anderson. And this is the defense we wanted to see from the Texans. I thought they would kind of fall off after C.J. Gardner-Johnson left, but I think he was negatively impacting their team culture.
I completely agree there. Look, here's what separated the Colts from the Texans. The failure to convert, again, for the 3rd straight time on 3rd down. They converted 30% of the time. 3 for 10. The Texans were at 6 for 13, which, mental math, about 45%, we'll just call it. The question I had here, which you slightly addressed, was, are they frauds?
The Colts?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say they are. Okay. I would say 100% they are. They had a lot of lucky early success.
Yeah, you could chalk that up to lucky early success. You could chalk that up to Jonathan Taylor just being really, really good. Or you can chalk that up to the Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor duo, working out for about 10 weeks.
Yeah.
But the flip side of this is the Texans. They're poised for a late season run. Right now, I think they're 7-6 or 7-5, something like that. But
they're 7-5.
Okay, 7-5. The Colts are 8-4, so they're only separated by a game. And the Jaguars, they're right there as well. Jaguars right now are at 1st in the AFC South, 8-4. So, I mean, this AFC South division is turning out to be a very fun race
Yeah.
compared to what we were saying about 4 weeks ago. And the issue that I see for coming with the Texans is CJ Stroud getting hurt again. If he stays healthy with how this defense has been playing, specifically with the run defense, like what you said,
Mm-hmm.
I think the Texans are poised for a very good playoff run.
I think even if CJ Stroud does get injured again, Davis Mills has given him this opportunity. So I think they can totally keep it up even if he goes out for like a game or two.
I could agree with that. Yeah, sure. An issue, though, that I had with the Texans was penalties. Again, the more and more we're getting to playoff time, the more and more I'm going to be harping on penalties. 9 penalties, 85 yards. They got to do something about that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Slumfest up next. Never mind. It wasn't actually that bad of a game. It was actually a pretty decent game. But Saints-Dolphins. The Saints. Some positives, some negatives. Right?
Positive, I would say for sure, Tyler Shuck kind of outplayed Tua by a good amount.
Yeah, okay.
So that was impressive.
Both agreed. But Shuck did make mistakes in crucial moments too.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a fumble earlier in the game, but then at the end of the game, when they could have tied it, he gave up a pick two. If you don't know what that is, it's basically where you go for a 2-point conversion, you throw an interception, and it ends up going to the house for a touchdown, which in this case only counts for 2 points. If this pick two didn't happen and they converted, high chance I would have picked the Saints to win at the end of this game. But again, that's not what happened. The Saints defense, I mean, they made Tua look bad, so
Yeah.
they did part of their job. But Achane just ran all over them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really why they kind of lost the game, is Devon Achane just was the offense.
He did all of the work for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
It's been that pretty much all season. I'm very impressed with Devon Achane.
Now for the Dolphins. I mean, saved by the bell, right? Saved by the pick two. Nearly gave the comeback to Tua. Didn't look great. They're barely winning games. I think we can both agree they're not going to make the playoffs probably.
I mean, they're still in the running, which I just find mind-blowing that Devon Achane single-handedly has kept the Dolphins theoretically in the playoff race. They're probably not going to make it, but they at least have a chance, and it's impressive that they have even that much.
Yeah, I mean, 5-7, third in the AFC East, but beneath the Bills and the Patriots. I mean, it's not likely. If they win out, maybe, but yeah, I mean, if they end up making the playoffs, it's just going to be because Devon Achane ran wild.
Yeah.
Falcons, Jets.
Slumfest Part 2. This game was pretty atrocious for both teams, I'd say. I would say for sure a bright spot for the Jets is Adonai Mitchell has been lighting it up. And that was kind of like a throw-in in the Sauce Gardner trade. No one really thought anything of that. But honestly, I would say he's the reason they won this game. Him and Breece Hall and then Kirk Cousins just being Kirk Cousins.
Go Chains!
This was definitely a return to form for Kirk Cousins. Much more what we expected for the Falcons for the rest of the season. Yeah, not much else to say.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Falcons, why did they win? Let's analyze that. Because a punt return that, again, was fumbled was at the Jets, or their own 2-yard line, and the Jets basically just picked it up, gave Breece Hall the rock, and told him to take it to the house, and that's exactly what happened. Everything went right. I think in this game for them, they played, every little thing they did it right, except for that one punt return. And that's in the end what ended up screwing them over.
Yeah.
For the Jets, they won another game because of Adonai Mitchell and Breece Hall. But what I want to highlight is Tyrod Taylor. Down the stretch, he showed why he's a veteran. He made, I think, every mostly right decision, and he played down the stretch really well. Though the penalties nearly killed them down the stretch. Tyrod Taylor down the stretch is really another reason why they won this game.
I mean, it goes to show that they do actually have the potential to have a really good deep game with, receivers and stuff. It's just that Justin Fields has been holding him back all year. Now we're kind of seeing what the Jets can be, and if they get a decent quarterback next year, they could be a pretty good team.
I mean, Jets with I don't know who's a good QB. Probably not Julian Salen. I wouldn't go that far yet, but like Jets with a QB who's worked with mid wide receivers would be like perfect for this situation.
Yeah.
Cardinals Bucks.
This was a pretty crazy game for the Buccaneers. Chris Godwin and Bucky Irving back to full health, clearly. Both played absolutely crazy. And honestly, I'm not even sure how Baker Mayfield played this game, but in classic Baker fashion, he balled out somehow with an injury on top of it all. This is just, the Buccaneers are some of the most, honestly, the Buccaneers are just the Niners if the Niners could play through their injuries. It is pretty impressive to see.
The Cardinals, right? Let's see. Turnovers, 2 to the Bucks 0. That's the difference maker. Those 2 possessions. Because they lost by a field goal, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if you get field goals on those possessions, you win this game. And they played well, all right? They played decently. Jacoby Brissett looked good. The defense looked decent. But those 2 possessions are really a difference maker.
Yeah.
For the Bucks, Bucky Irving came back. And, I mean, the running dimension he gives to this team is pretty good. Because, like, he had some 60, 70 yards with a touchdown. That's enough. Why? Because that paired with Baker's ability to get the ball down the field is just OP. They played cleanly. I'm pretty sure they only had like 1 penalty this entire game. And they didn't have a turnover. And really, those 2 things is how this team wins.
Yeah.
Because when they don't do stupid things like getting false starts or, having too many men on the field, I'm pretty sure is when they were killed by a few weeks ago. When they don't do these stupid things, their team plays really well.
Mm-hmm.
And this game just proved that. I would love to skip this game, but Rams.
Hey, I would love to skip the Vikings game.
Okay, just let me talk for some time.
All right.
Rams Panthers. The Rams defense sold, Stafford sold. This was a test for the Rams to see what happens when the offense doesn't play how it's supposed to. When the offense turns the ball over, Stafford with 2 interceptions and a fumble, can the defense pick up the slack? And the answer, flat out, which I already knew, which I already said coming into this year, was no. Why? Because the secondary cannot take up the slack when the defensive line is not getting a lot of pressure. The secondary, flat out, on the game-winning touchdown, Tedero McMillan was behind Emmanuel Forbes. And my entire question is, how are you not back there with him? Why are you not step for step with him? Because, no offense to Tedero McMillan, but that route was not the first option at all. It was like the 4th option. The reason why it worked is because Emmanuel Forbes played lazy defense. Either he's been hearing too much of the Outside Opinions podcast, or he's been seeing too much of ESPN highlighting him as the 3rd best corner in the league right now. This game, he was the 32nd best starting corner in the league. The 32nd. He played terribly. I blame this loss on both Stafford and the defense, but more so on the defense because they just didn't pick up the slack when they had to.
Yeah.
And the Panthers played well, took the opportunities when they were gifted to them, and they were gifted a win by our defense and Stafford.
I honestly wouldn't say gifted a win. You did mention the pretty bad, secondary defense by the Rams, but honestly, give credit where credit is due. Bryce Young did play pretty incredibly.
He was gifted those though. I'm not dissing the Panthers here. Okay, they played phenomenally. Don't get me wrong, but what I want to say is, if the defense did its job, those throws would have never been able to be made.
Yeah.
Because all he really had to do was just lay the ball out into the lap of like Tedero McMillan and Jalen Coker.
Mm-hmm.
Like on a 4th and 2, why are they getting a 33-yard touchdown? It's supposed to be a slow game, not a 33-yard touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And for Stafford, look, his MVP hopes are still alive. He still has the 34 TD to 4 interception ratio.
Yeah.
It's just the fumble at the end of the game that killed us.
Also this was another example of how the Panthers really rely on the run defense, on the run game like we were talking about earlier. And this time, after a very abysmal performance from Rico Dowdle last week, you got Chuba Hubbard a lot more involved, and it really paid off. I think a lot of the mess-ups by the Rams secondary, it was just because the Panthers had a lot of momentum from the run game. So it just kind of puts the defense on their back foot, and the Panthers had pretty much all the momentum this whole game. And I think that's going to be – I don't think there's a way that Matthew Stafford doesn't get MVP still. But this is going to be what holds the Rams back from Super Bowl hopes that everyone is talking about they should have is abysmal defensive play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, every time we go down to the East Coast and we play, we always end up screwing ourselves because the defense just forgets how to play defense, and Stafford ends up having a one turnover that just screws us at the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's exactly the carbon copy of why we lost last year in Philadelphia in the divisional round. Because, well, Kyrie Williams and Blake Corum can't hold on to the ball. And this time, well, Stafford just couldn't hold on to the ball. It's just, can we hold on to the ball on the East Coast? And if we do, we win this game. But, yeah, plus Devontae Adams, 2 touchdowns.
Continues his hot streak. That was pretty crazy.
And also, my catch for the year with Puka Nacua. But
that was like a Justin Jefferson level catch. That was incredible.
But, yeah, I mean, it was just the defense. Vikings Seahawks. Yeah, so I got out my rage on the previous one. I'll let you get out your rage on this one.
What the heck? What the heck? Everyone was talking about Max Brosmer being like potential like hidden gem in the Vikings, bench. Everyone was saying, he lit it up at Minnesota. He lit it up in Minnesota, and he's going to be so good. He's got all these preseason highlights. This is proof that preseason highlights mean absolutely nothing. Preseason is when you put in your no-name quarterback who can't do anything in the regular season, and he showed why he's a no-name. He was horrible this entire game. Every time the Seahawks and Sam Darnold gifted us great field position because Sam Darnold played horrible in this game, every time that happened, Max Brosmer just threw the ball away. That pick six might have been the worst NFL throw I've seen in my entire life.
And no, I think Will Levis is matching up to that. Don't worry.
It was about that level. Yeah. It was pretty horrible.
Max Brosmer equals Will Levis in disguise.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway from this game because he's definitely not the answer.
Yeah.
I mean, you already said that. But he looked worse than J.J. McCarthy, which is kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
But he looked like on Will Levis type levels, which is not good.
I think that was the worst quarterback play we've seen from any team all year.
I would agree. I really would agree. Yeah. I mean, some Dylan Gabriel performances get up there, but I definitely agree with you.
There were like 2 throws to T.J. Hawkinson, and other than that, I don't think he did anything the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, look, the defense, credit where credit's due, they did their job. I was pleasantly surprised because, I mean, they got Darnold to fumble the ball, which every time that happens, he just plays really bad.
Yeah.
And then JSN got locked up only 26 yards. Everything was right, but Max Brosmer. Because Max Brosmer didn't do anything. 4 interceptions, including one where you think you're Mahomes and you're trying to do like a little sidearm when you're literally parallel to the ground.
Take the sack, man. You're not Patrick Mahomes. What the heck?
I mean, look, that's why they lost.
Yeah.
But also the Seahawks, some takeaways where they need to improve is need to convert in the red zone. They were pretty bad at doing that. And need to not play down to their opponent.
Yeah. They had like the pick six, and then I think everything else except for a Zach Charbonnet touchdown was field goals.
Yeah, which, I mean, Jason Myers is good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, you really need to step it up offensively. And as the defense, 4 picks, I think, says enough about them.
Honestly, I wouldn't even say their defense played that great. It was just, Max Brosmer.
I mean, gifting, when you gift opportunities, you got to also take the opportunity, which is what their defense did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next one, the one that I had to unfortunately suffer my brain through, was Steelers-Bills.
Man, this was a rough game.
Moment of silence for all the Steelers fans out there. Cool, now we can talk. They look bad. They're slowly trending to 9-8. We're not really going to recap the Steelers. Instead, what I'm going to say to you is it time to fire Mike Tomlin? We had this discussion last year at the same time, around the same time, basically. I'm revisiting this discussion now because my answer to it has changed.
I would say mine has too. I think he's made a pretty historic run as a coach. I mean, what is it, like 19 straight seasons with a winning record is incredibly impressive. But you look at that stat and you don't see the fact that every single one of the seasons, except for occasionally with Ben Roethlisberger, they've done nothing. And, when do you stop settling for mediocrity? When do you stop, settling for 9-8 seasons, exit in the first round of the playoffs? Because you can have a pretty cool record where you've had that many winning seasons, but if none of those seasons mean anything, it doesn't matter. No one cares if you have a winning season if you don't do anything in the playoffs. So I think it is time to fire Mike Tomlin. He's had his chance. It doesn't help that, Aaron Rodgers has been in and out all year, but I mean, the fact that he hasn't been able to do anything with it, he's shown he's worthy of a great defensive coordinator job, but beyond that, I don't think he should ever be a head coach again.
Yeah, I mean, look, agreed. It is quite time to fire Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Last year I said no because I was like, he was still a chance, right? This year, it's just not good. Aaron Rodgers needs to retire, right? They have no run game. Their defense is the highest paid in the league and it's still getting destroyed every other week.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't look good. Flat out. They'll make 9-8 because, it's not that hard to go 3-2 over the last 5 games of the season, I don't think. But they just, flat out, they don't look good.
They've shown you can actually get pretty far with a defensive coordinator coaching your team. You can get pretty good records every year, but you can't win it all if you only have a defense every year.
And, I think Tomlin is still head coach worthy, but I don't think it's on the Steelers.
Mm.
I think he needs a fresh start in a team that is pretty bad because I think that's the type of team that can prosper from him.
Yeah.
That's the type of team where he can take that team, mold it around, and take it to the playoffs. Maybe, it's a 9-8 team again, but that's really the type of team that Tomlin needs to succeed.
I think he needs a team that's already got a pretty well set up offense. And then he'll probably be able to lead him to a Super Bowl in a few years.
Yeah, that or just, a team like the Tennessee Titans where nothing is going right.
Yeah.
But they have a semi-bright future. For the Bills, they didn't look good. Flat out, just did not look good. Allen played okay, not great. Defense, not that hard to stop Aaron Rodgers. But this is the type of team where we have said the theme is inconsistent, and this is what this team is, inconsistent. Mm-hmm. And this is, if you think about like the big 3 teams that come to mind this year, or that came to mind in the offseason, Philly, the Chiefs, and the Bills.
Yep.
Right. Every year we sit down, we have a discussion about these 3 teams as potential Super Bowl candidates. This year, all 3, I think, are buns.
Mm-hmm.
I think all 3 of these teams do not deserve to be in the playoffs and need to miss the playoffs, actually. And we should have a new Super Bowl matchup this year, other than, Chiefs and somebody, or Bills and somebody.
I'm sick of these teams thinking that they can just bully their way into getting wins, barely scrape into the playoffs, and then start, getting back into the rhythm and make it to the Super Bowl again. I'm sick of them settling with mediocrity and being happy to sit back and let their defense do the work. I'm sick of them barely winning 1-score games and somehow making the playoffs every year. I'm sick of these 3 teams, and I want to see them miss the playoffs so they can learn the lesson.
Agreed. I don't think it can be better put. Raiders, Chargers. The Raiders. When Geno Smith, he looked okay, right? We're not going to have a discussion about Geno Smith looking bad again, hopefully.
I think that was Brock Bowers looking okay for the most part, but...
Hey, we got to give some credit to Geno Smith, all right? If we give it all to Brock Bowers, I don't want to talk about Georgia players right now. We'll just leave it at that. Genty, look, Ashton Genty, it ain't Boise State, right?
Yeah.
But you're expected to get more than 30 yards, which he didn't get. And the defense just, look, as good as Max Crosby is, you have to stop Kimani Vidal from rushing for 120 yards and a touchdown. And they didn't do that.
Yeah.
For the Chargers, this game was essential to keeping themselves in the playoff race. They won it because it's the Raiders.
Yeah.
But, it was an all-around decent game. My question is, when is Justin Herbert going to figure out his interception issue? Because every game he's throwing at least consistently 1. Mm-hmm. And compare that to last season where he
had like 3 all year.
Yeah, he had 3 all year.
Yeah.
This is just, it's uncharacteristic is what I'm thinking it is.
Yeah.
Of course, this could be a trend in the right direction that, he's getting more fearless. But at what point do we draw the line between fearless and stupid?
Yeah.
That's the question. So unless Herbert figures out his pick issue, I don't see this team going too far in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could agree with that for sure. I think it was pretty crazy, though. The Chargers have shown incredible depth at the running back position. I swear every week a different running back goes off in the run game, and it's pretty incredible what Jim Harbaugh's been able to do with the run game. They definitely, like you said, they have to get a lot of things ironed out before the playoffs with the pass game, but I could see them going on a run this year. They're looking pretty good.
Now for, the unexpected game. I was not expecting this at all from this game. But
this might have been the best primetime game all year so far.
Yeah, Commanders Broncos.
Did not see that one coming.
Mariota. I want to highlight Marcus Mariota, and no, not the way Chris Collinsworth said it was. Marcus Mariota made a lot of right decisions down the stretch, and Zach Ertz had a resurgence game.
Yeah. And so did Deebo Samuel and Terry McLaurin too. It was just a resurgent game for the Commanders in general.
Sure, the last touchdown should have been OPI. I mean, Deebo Samuel technically set a pick, but
yeah,
whatever. It's the refs. My question from this game is, was it the right decision to go for 2 in overtime?
I think so. I don't think that there was any chance that their defense was going to stop the Broncos. They had 2 minutes left, I think. So best case scenario, they tie. Worst case scenario, the Broncos, which I think was way more likely, the Broncos go down the field, score a field goal, and win. I think it was 100% the right decision. I mean, Marcus Mariota was playing crazy all game. I think that pass needed to go to Zach Ertz. He'd been making physical catches all game, and I think he was the most likely to bring it in. But at the end of the day, they did their best. The win wouldn't have meant a whole lot except for just team morale. So I think in general, Marcus Mariota showed he could potentially be worth starting job next year. I mean, I need to see more than just this one
for sure.
game.
You need to see more than that.
But this was a pretty incredible game for him.
Yeah. I still don't know if it was the right decision. I'm kind of torn on this. Because on one end, I understand that, you get the 2-point conversion. You play phenomenally. You win.
Yeah.
Bam. On the other end, I'm does it really, do the job, though?
Yeah.
Because if I'm the Commanders, I don't just want to gift another team a win, right? That's not your job. I would have kicked the field goal, maybe. I think. I still don't know what the right answer is, but I probably might have kicked the field goal and just told my defense, just go out there and stop them for 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
Because, you have a good defense. They were doing pretty well all the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason why they gave up the score in overtime was because they were gassed for basically playing the end half of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But whether it was right or wrong doesn't matter. They just got unlucky that Nick Bonino can jump higher than I would expect.
Oh, man, yeah.
Because he's the one who blocked the ball. And, he jumped up, he got it. Respect. But the Broncos, they played well. They did whatever. Bo Nix needs to figure out how to throw the ball again slightly. But when does the double magic run out?
Yeah, I would say this was a pretty concerning performance from their defense. It could have been just Marcus Mariota having a great day out of nowhere, but I would say that's a concern going into the playoffs, especially I think the record is really deceptively good right now. So, like you said, Bo Nix needs to figure out how to throw the ball more consistently. He had some pretty great plays in this game, but he needs to be more consistent on the mundane everyday passes rather than just the typical highlight reel 20+ yard passes. So.
Yeah, and along with that, they're getting the vibes of the Chiefs last year.
Yeah.
Not really getting bailed out by the refs or something like that.
And it's not really low-scoring games. It's really just the deceptiveness of the record.
Exactly. And low-scoring games are good to an extent, but when you're barely beating the Jets, Titans, Giants, Raiders, and now the Commanders by 1 score, at some point we put a question mark on you and just leave you to the side.
Yeah.
And I think this is where I'm putting the question mark. Because I don't think this type of team can do well against another type of good team. Don't get me wrong, they beat the Eagles by 1 score. But again, we already said this earlier, the Eagles shouldn't even make the playoffs in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't really see how the Broncos do a lot in the playoffs.
Honestly,
I could see them being an AFC Championship team.
Yeah.
It's just, I think there's a high chance they can get knocked out before that.
I think there's definitely a chance. I just with the way the rest of the AFC is looking right now, unless they play the Patriots early on, I think they have a good chance of making the AFC Championship. And if the Patriots make some, rookie mistakes from Drake May or something like that, I could see them sneaking into the Super Bowl, but I definitely don't see them winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That concludes our recaps for this week. So we will get on with our picks. First up, Dallas-Detroit, Thursday night.
Shouldn't we do today's game?
Oh, right. I keep forgetting that today's Monday.
Yeah. Giants-Patriots.
Right. Giants-Patriots. Jameis Winston. Yeah.
Actually, Jackson Dart's
it's probably
coming
Jackson
back.
Dart. Yeah.
No, he's coming back, and this is going to be very interesting because the Giants basically have 0 coaches at all. So this will be a Jackson Dart game and nothing else. There's no one there to support him. We're just going to see how much Jackson Dart can do on his own. This will be a great test, and if he can keep this game close, I will be very impressed. I think there's a very low chance of them winning it, though. Just like I said, they don't have anyone on their coaching staff, and the Patriots are pretty incredible right
They're
now.
playing at Gillette Stadium, too, which is the
Yeah.
worst place to play if you're a rookie, or at least one of the worst places. I would call it the worst.
Yeah.
Give me the Patriots. Dallas-Detroit. It's at Detroit, but it's anyway a dome, so it doesn't matter. This is a very interesting game. This is where it all comes down.
Yeah. One of these teams is going to be eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah. And I'm picking Dallas to win this.
Same. I think that the run defense, like we said earlier, is going to make it very hard for the Lions. Without, Jared Goff has just not played great under pressure. He's not played great when Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery can't do all the work for him. And there's, like I said, the potential for Amon-Ra St. Brown to not even play. I think the Cowboys are going to win this one.
Agreed. Seattle, Atlanta. Seattle, probably.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Because even the Falcons' defense hasn't been playing great lately, so I don't think they're going to give the Seahawks much of a hard time.
Yeah. Bengals, Bills. This is an interesting game.
Yeah, this is an interesting
because this is going to be the test for the Bills' defense here.
Yeah.
And I'm picking the Bengals to oust their defense.
Yeah.
Because go ahead.
This is a tough one to predict because, like we saw last week against the Ravens, Joe Burrow is definitely not exactly his former self. He's still kind of rusty from being, out for so long, and his toe is definitely still bothering him. Every time he goes on the sideline, he's like taking his cleat off. So I think it's going to be a problem for him in this game. I could see them winning it still, though. I got Buffalo, though.
Okay. Disagree, but I think the Bengals, specifically the Bengals' pass game, is going to carve up Buffalo. And Josh Allen really hasn't looked good the past few weeks, so that's why I got the Bengals here. Oh, do we really need to predict this game? Titans, Browns.
Oh my gosh.
On ESPN, it says tickets as low as $8. So if you want to go for $8,
you can say you've been in an NFL game.
yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty bad one. I guess it'll be interesting seeing, whether Shadur Sanders should have been a higher pick, because neither him nor well, I can't talk all of a sudden.
Nice.
Neither him nor Cam Ward has a whole lot of help on offense, so it'll basically just be Shadur Sanders versus Cam Ward. We'll be able to see which one should have been the higher pick.
I don't think it's an apples-to-apples comparison. I think Shadur has way more help with Jerry Jeudy and Quinshon Judkins. Also, defensively, having Myles Garrett is a plus.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
But I do pick Cleveland to win this game. I just think they're better coached with Kevin Stefanski. Shadur Sanders has looked decent the past 2.5 games.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the Titans defense is really going to be able to have a good game against Cleveland in that, they haven't had to deal with, they've had to deal with hard teams before, but in this game specifically, I don't think they're going to be able to stop Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah, I definitely got the Browns too.
Washington, Minnesota.
Man, if we lose this game, I'm going to be really mad. I could see it happening if Marcus Mariota goes off again, but this is just a must-win, especially I don't know if McCarthy's going to be back or not. If he's not, I could see us losing, but if he's back, there's no excuse if we lose this game. So
if,
I got the Vikings.
If Minnesota loses this game, and it's JJ McCarthy's fault, I think I'm gonna say it's over for JJ McCarthy.
Yeah. It's either over for him or it's over. It's going to be over for somebody. It's going to be over for him. It's going to be over for Kwesi or Kevin O'Connell. If it's over for Kevin O'Connell, something's wrong in management. But
if it's over
somebody's
for KOC,
getting fired if we lose the
I'm.
Commanders.
If it was over for KOC, I would personally call the Vikings the dumbest franchise to ever exist,
Yeah.
which is hard to do when the Browns exist. But it's okay. But I'm picking the Vikings mainly because I want to see how JJ McCarthy plays out this game.
Yeah.
Dolphins, Jets. Dolphins for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a debate.
I mean, the Jets can make it interesting. They showed that this past week. There's a potential for it to be a close game. But yeah, Dolphins, I'd say.
I just think with the Jets, the issue is going to be, can they keep moving the ball down the field like how they did?
Yeah.
Because, Tyrod Taylor, he did well, right? He did well. But they cannot become stagnant. And that's like the biggest thing that they've been this year is just stagnant. Mainly because of Justin Fields, but, we'll see. Saints, Bucks. This is a must win for the Bucks.
Must win. I think they lose the division if they lose.
Yeah, if they lose this game, they definitely lose the division.
Yeah.
But the Bucks have to win this game, which is why I'm picking them to win this game.
Yeah, I got the Bucks.
Because again, they also play in Tampa. They should easily win this game. The game for the AFC South: Colts at Jacksonville.
I got Jaguars. I think this is going to be a crazy sell for the Colts. They've gone from potentially AFC 1 seed to losing their division, and I think at this point they're going to be a playoff wild card.
I have the Colts to win because I think the Jaguars' interior defensive line does not have it in them to stop Jonathan Taylor this game.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the game where he re-breaks out from having been in a little shell the past few weeks, and he's just going to run all over them. Yeah, that's what I'm predicting.
Yeah, if Jonathan Taylor can get something going, definitely a Colts win.
Yeah, so that's why I'm picking the Colts here. AFC North: Steelers, Ravens.
This will be a terrible game.
Yeah.
I don't know if Aaron Rodgers did come back in at the end of the Steelers game last week, so he'll probably play again this one. I got the Steelers. The Ravens are in the most crazy slump. I thought for sure when Lamar came back and they suddenly were on a hot streak, I thought for sure they were going to make the playoffs, maybe even. It looked like they might win their division. I think they're still in first in the AFC North. Is that right?
Yeah, I think they're still
first. I think, but if the Steelers win this game, they have a good chance of retaking the division. I think that's what's going to happen, and
I think this is
it
the
confuses
game.
me. But
yeah, I think this is a game where Lamar figures out how to throw the ball again. Specifically against Pittsburgh's highest paid defense. I'm definitely picking Baltimore here. Something's got to change after that loss, and I think that's what's going to change. And that's what John Harbaugh is going to drill into this team: is you got to throw the ball better.
Yeah.
Raiders, Broncos. So I think we can both agree the Broncos will win.
I can agree.
Will it be by 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, or 4 points?
How close can they make it against the Raiders?
I'm probably guessing they're going to win by a field goal, classic Broncos style. But it'll probably be the Broncos.
I think this will be a really low scoring one, which is, it's good for the Broncos defense that they can at least do that, but very concerning for Bo Nix.
Yeah. Oh, yes, good
This
matchup.
is going to be a very good game.
This should be flex to prime time, my opinion.
Yeah.
But Bears, Packers, the biggest rivalry in the NFL. We don't have an answer. We just don't have an answer.
No, it's got to be Packers. I have an emphatic answer. The Bears have had a weirdly easy schedule, and so, like the Broncos, their record is a little bit deceptive. They have definitely beat some impressive teams, but the Packers are just far and away the better team. Way, way, way better defense. So I think they're going to win this game easily.
I think the Packers probably will win, but if the Packers win this, it's the weirdest thing of all time. Who's going to be atop of the NFC? Is it the Bears? Is it the Eagles? Is it the Packers? Is it the Rams? Is it the Seahawks? Who is it?
Yeah.
That's the $1 million question right now.
I think at the end of the day, it'll probably end up being the Rams, but it's going to be close. And even more importantly, who's going to win the NFC North? It's not going to be the Lions at this point. Probably if the Bears lose this game, I don't think it's going to be that.
I feel like the Packers have a very legitimate shot at it. It's just, can Jordan Love keep moving the ball down the field?
Yeah.
Rams, Cardinals. If we don't win this game like 100-0, I'm going to be very disappointed. Like, I'm dead serious here. If we do not bounce back from this loss without, like, absolute certainty, I'm going to be very, very disappointed in Sean McVay and co.
Yeah, I need to see Matthew Stafford throw for at least 300 yards, if not more.
So, yeah, if Puka doesn't have, like, 300 yards either, I'm going to be very disappointed. We better blow out the Cardinals by a mile. Texans, Chiefs.
Yeah, like you said, we got to change the primetime matchup to Bears-Packers.
That's what I'm saying.
This is not a primetime game.
But, no, Texans, Chiefs, give me the Texans. I think the Chiefs, they're already on a downward spiral. They're just going to keep going down.
No, the Chiefs win this one. You know they lock in when the playoffs are on the line. They're going to win out. I think they're going to win out and sneak into the playoffs.
If they win out and sneak into the playoffs, I'm going to be the saddest person.
Yeah, I'm going to hate it. But I think, they've shown in the past, time and time again, they know when to lock in, and this is the time.
I'm betting on Travis Kelce having a fumble. Eagles, Chargers. Monday night. This game really determines the future for the Eagles. It also determines the future for the Chargers. I think this is an excellent primetime Monday night game. The thing here, the big question for both teams is, will Philadelphia finally bounce back? Will Jalen Hurts get the ball to other people whose name is not A.J. Brown? And will Justin Herbert be able to face a competent defense and be able to dissect it?
Mm-hmm. And not throw interceptions. I think also for the Eagles, Saquon Barkley needs to take a step up major time, like big time.
Yeah.
And I think the difference maker in this game is going to be with how badly we saw the Eagles' run defense play last week. I think the Chargers are going to get, again, like last week, a lot of rushing yards, and I think that's going to be what wins them the game.
I agree, yeah. So I think I'm going to get the Chargers here, too.
Yeah.
I think it's only fair. Okay, so now we're going to talk about two things. First one, I asked for some comments on the previous video and or hot takes for y'all to drop some in the comments. And there was one that came through. I forgot what it was. Oh, yeah, no, I remember. Patrick Mahomes. If he was in Josh Allen's shoes, he would not be called a top 10 QB in the league right now. I'm just going to verify that real quick, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. First off, what do you rate that hot take? Second off, do you agree or disagree?
Honestly, I don't think their situation is hugely different at this point. I think the main difference is the coaching because, Andy Reid is just a far better coach. I think that's going to be what makes the difference there because both of them, honestly, I think definitely Rashee Rice is better than any single receiver on the Bills, but the general balance of the receiver core is not that different. I think definitely the receiver core still leans in the direction of the Chiefs, but the fact that Josh Allen has a much better running back to work with, I think that kind of balances the field a little bit. So I think, honestly, the numbers wouldn't be much different. I think there would be a drop-off from the coaching, but I think he would still be considered a top 10 QB.
I think the issue is that Allen fits into the Bills system perfectly. Like, he is the exact QB you want for the Bills. Mm-hmm. The big body type guy who can bully his way through others and who can get you touchdowns.
Yeah.
Mahomes can't do that. And on the flip side, if Allen was on the Chiefs, I think his numbers would look way, way better than Mahomes would on the Bills.
Honestly, I think what you said about him fitting the Bills situation perfectly, I don't know how well that would carry over to the Chiefs because the Chiefs...
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah.
Allen's arm is way better than Mahomes' arm.
That's true.
And if they can unlock that deep game with Xavier Worthy, and Mahomes not overthrowing Xavier Worthy,
yeah,
I think that's why Allen's numbers will be way better.
That has been a really big problem for the Chiefs lately. Is the short, like the little outside the numbers routes that have not been working at all. I think that would be a lot better with with Josh Allen at QB, but there's not as much emphasis on the quarterback rushing the football. There's not as much and that might largely stem from Patrick Mahomes not having the same skill set, but I think he wouldn't thrive quite as well. The Bills are much more in the situation that the Buccaneers are, where they ask their quarterback to put the team on his back, and Josh Allen's able to fit that role really well.
Okay, I can agree with that. If I was to grade this on our hotometer, it is not sizzling hot. I don't think. I don't think it's that bad of a take, or that good of a take, or that outlandish of a take.
Yeah.
I would say this is probably like, middle of the pack. Probably like, yeah, it's kind of hot, but it's not like crazy hot. You know what I mean?
I think there's definitely an argument to be made for both sides. So.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna call this one about a middle of the pack.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap up today with some coaches on the hot seat. And this is going to be rapid fire. I'm just going to name some coaches, and you're going to tell me whether they should be fired by the end of this year or not.
All right.
I'm going to give you a hard one first. Mike Tomlin.
Like I said earlier, yes, 100%. You can't just keep settling for mediocrity. He's got to go. I mean, I think it might be fair to give him one more year if you can. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers stays around next year, it might be fair to give him one more year. But honestly, something's got to change with the Steelers. The roster's too old. Mike Tomlin's been doing the same thing for way too long. Something's got to change.
All right. I have two more, and these I just want a yes or no answer. All right? Yes or no. Jonathan Gannon, Arizona Cardinals.
No.
Mike McDaniels, Florida. Basically Florida. Miami Dolphins.
No.
And last one, sorry, I still have two. I actually got a third one now. Todd Bowles, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Man, that's a really tough one. It's kind of tough to pick someone to blame for the Buccaneers. I would say no.
I would say yes to the last one. I agree with your answers on the other two. But I do think Todd Bowles needs to go. I think he's in a similar situation to Mike Tomlin, but it's just every year we see them get injured and then barely make the playoffs because the NFC South is so bad.
Yeah.
I want to see them stay healthy and absolutely destroy the NFC South.
Yeah,
And I think somebody who's not Todd Bowles is going to achieve that way better.
That one's a lot more up in the air. I would say definitely not this year, but I would say he's on the hot seat for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. Very much appreciated. If y'all can help us out, spread the word to your friends. Tell them about our podcast. Be greatly appreciated. We want to grow this thing. We want y'all to be part of the journey with us. So please do tell your friends. And like I said last week, drop some takes in the some hot takes in the comments, and we'll pick two to talk about. This week there's only one down there, so I'm going to pick the one. But if y'all could drop some, that'd be great. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next week.
See ya.
You like